Hey everyone, it is Katie here with the Lunar Moon. I'm here to do the monthly reading for February. It will also be focused on the celebration of Imbolc. So before we begin, you guys need to pick a group of cards. We've got 4 groups here. First we have this red Jasper group. We have an emerald group. We have a Carnelian group. And then there's a Celestite or Celestite group. So take a minute, meditate, do whatever it is you need to do to pick a card. You can choose the most visually appealing card, go with your gut feeling. You can try and look at each group of cards with your third eye or see if you see yourself in any of these groups. Try to be honest with yourself, don't overthink it too much. And then once you pick your group, go ahead and pick the timestamp down below in the description and start your reading. Okay, so for group 1, this is your stone. Your stone is red Jasper. If you have any red Jasper around, I would recommend keeping some close to you this month. Red Jasper particularly relates to the root and sacral chakra. And this card here says, beauty and grace inhabit this grounding stone. Red rock resembles life force. Take this on trips, motoring, and travel destinations. Also, outcomes improve greatly. So that is your stone for the month. And then your reading, first we have the Prince of Swords, or the Page of Swords, and it is reversed. That represents your frost. Then you have the King of Wands, and that represents your flame. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles. It is reversed, and that represents your flower. So this is your reading. Okay, so first for your frost, you guys got the Prince of Swords or the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is a high energy card, but generally in the terms of the mistakes that high energy can bring. So you might be all talk, you might have plans that are too large for you to execute, or you have poor planning and you are rushing things, and this leads to mistakes and setbacks. So this could be that you've been working on something for a long time. It could be that you're having issues with your relationships. Maybe you get super excited about things and you rush in, and then, once everything's said and done, you can't go back and make changes or readjust because there wasn't any planning. So this is your representation of something that's holding you back right now, or making you feel stagnant, or anything that's kind of causing you to stop making progress in your life. The next card that you have is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is an awesome card, and I think all of your cards communicate really great with each other, because this is a card of big picture thinking, taking leadership, inspiring, better planning, take your vision and inspire others. So the idea here is that as your flame, this is going to be the inspiration or the action that you can take, or the way that you can think in order to improve upon this issue and then bring yourself into a higher state of being, or any kind of improvement that you can benefit from in the future. So basically, all of this excited planning and this excited ideas that you have and how you're rushing in, the King of Wands is telling you that all you need to do is kind of approach those ideas with a calm mind and really make sure that you can confidently act upon whatever it is that's inspiring you, or whatever it is that has your attention. If you have something you want to do within a relationship, or if you have something that you want to act upon at work, or even at home, or with your personal improvement or your spirituality, the idea is that you really take your time to think about it, maybe research it a little bit, feel confident in your actions. And also the fact that it's the king and it has a leadership aspect to this card, I think that maybe you might be trying to do everything all on your own, and that's why mistakes are happening. So this might also mean that you might take help from people around you, or your community or family, depending on the situation. And you're able to literally lead and inspire them to help you achieve your goals. You don't have to do everything on your own. A king isn't the only powerful, and sometimes not even the most powerful person within a political or social structure. Usually they have an entire court that they rely on. And so maybe start thinking about your court and who lies in it. And, you know, with you and the king aspect, you know, who is an ally in your goals and how they can help you kind of reach them with a smarter approach or a more confident approach than what you've been currently doing. For your flower card, the flower represents essentially what is going to bloom or something that you can benefit from, or the gifts that are going to be brought to you during this cycle. And you guys got the Queen of Pentacles. Now it is reversed, but I think that there's a few reasons for this. It's not that you have something negative coming your way. I think it kind of might be the way that you guys are viewing your current home life, like work-life balance or aspects. Specifically with Imbolc coming up, or potentially here, because this will be posted on the first day of Imbolc. And so that is the celebration of the goddess Brighid. She's the goddess of fire, hearth, home, fertility. So that, again, that concept of community kind of comes into play. And kind of quite literally, this card can be a card of kind of your hearth pleasures. So your hearth pleasures, so kind of like cooking and cleaning, making home, having success in the home, enjoying those little comforts, the little comforts of home. That's something that you're going to be able to do more than you're doing now if you take these actions to make those changes. It could be that you have current imbalances or imbalances with your work life kind of routines and things, and those are going to be improved upon. So, you know, the gift is that this is going to go from being reversed to upright. But again, I think the reason it's reversed is because specifically it's pertaining to the home, and that celebration of starting something new, a new routine, a new sort of balance, maybe even dedicating yourself to a new action or routine, something that you can do every day, something small like cooking breakfast for yourself or doing yoga before bed at night, or something specifically that involves you in your house and enjoying, you know, kind of the small simplistic nature of being there. That is going to be the gift that is brought to you. I feel like you're going to be somebody who not becomes a homebody, but maybe right now home isn't a very comforting place. And I think it's going to become a very comforting place. I think maybe all of this work that you're putting in, or the people that you bring into your life that are going to kind of help you with your endeavors, it's going to enable you to actually be able to go home and enjoy it, instead of maybe right now everything is so out of balance that you're going home just to sleep and start over again in the morning, and you're not actually enjoying your time there. So that's what I think that Queen of Pentacles is telling you. So that is your reading. Thank you so much. I really hope that it resonated with you guys and said something that you needed to hear. Nice and short this month. I'm not feeling too great, but I wanted to make sure we did a reading for you guys anyway. So again, I really want to know what you think. Please leave comments down below, and hopefully I will see you next month for our next monthly reading. Thank you so much. Okay, group 2, we are here with your reading. So first you guys have the Emerald card. Here is your Emerald card. And it says, Emerald is a painkiller. Place this gem over your ache to dissolve anger and unresolved issues causing discomfort. So I'm not sure that particularly you guys have a mental or physical pain at the moment, but I would say that most humans kind of always do. You might be going through some stuff physically that has been ailing you, or you might even have something that's just been in the back of your mind kind of causing you trouble. So that might be something you guys want to think about maybe fixing during this cycle. And then your cards. So for your Frost card, you guys got the 7 of Cups. For your Flame card, you guys got the 8 of Swords reversed. And then for your flower card, you guys got the Seven of Pentacles reversed. So this is your reading. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what this means for you guys. So the thing with the Seven of Cups is I'm feeling like the reason you guys might be feeling stuck or stagnant is because you are sitting in a position in your life where you need to make some choices. Choices must be made. You might have some impractical thinking about those choices. You might be avoiding those choices. Some of them might seem too good to be true. And you might be feeling maybe a little misled in making your decision. So that's sort of not a cool place to be in. It could be maybe there's an aspect of manipulation that's going on here and you guys are feeling a little trapped, or you feel like you can't make those decisions. And it also could be something along the lines of you might be thinking a little too idealistically, and so perhaps the solution to what you're thinking or planning isn't on the table. It isn't a choice that you can make, and so you're choosing not to make any choice at all because of that. I'm getting a few different vibes from it, but essentially what's coming down is there are some options or some things that are being presented to you, and some of them are very unrealistic. Some of them are too good to be true, definitely. And also some of them might be hard choices, like it might mean doing a lot of work, or it might mean putting yourself in a position you don't want to be in, but it's for the greater good ultimately. So I'm feeling definitely a very stuck feeling right here, and that's your Frost card. Your Flame card, you guys got the Eight of Swords, and it is reversed. So the flame is supposed to represent essentially what's going to melt the frost away so that you're going to be able to receive the gift of the flower this season. And so the Eight of Swords is telling me that you guys are going to find some self-acceptance. You're going to find some new perspectives, new ways of thinking. It's going to lead you to some freedom. You might have to change your beliefs. You're going to be trusting yourself a lot more. But again, these are going to lead you to a sensation of freedom. So while you might be feeling super, super stuck now, what you're going to have to do is kind of separate yourself from that situation or that environment and find ways to look within yourself and see maybe the way you're going about this or the way that you're thinking about it is the reason why you feel so stuck. I have a feeling a lot of you are going to end up having to rethink your approach or change your perspective, maybe even get a different perspective for some other people around you. But essentially what it is, and I'm, for some reason, and this isn't really in the cards, but my instinct or my intuition is telling me that a handful of you are being influenced. And so not letting that person influence you anymore, like being able to make choices for yourself or trusting in your personal strength instead of the strength of others. So while I do say you might get a different perspective from the people around you, make sure it's not from the people who are making you feel trapped. And if all of this is something that's just going on naturally within yourself, realize that you are completely capable of manipulating and trapping yourself too. So taking a new approach and taking the chance, because it's going to feel kind of scary, to think differently or approach things differently, it's going to give you the freedom to kind of release yourself from that sensation of feeling stuck or trapped or not being able to make a choice that you want to make. And it might open up a lot of new perspectives and choices that you hadn't considered yet. So that is your advice card, or essentially that's the flame that's going to help lead you into a new position. Now for your flower, you guys got the Seven of Pentacles, and it is reversed. The Seven of Pentacles, again, we're getting a lot of reversals for these flower cards, and what I'm hearing and seeing really is just that it's not that something bad is coming your way. It's not that things are going to end poorly for you this month or after celebrating this particular Sabbath. The idea mostly is just that things aren't awesome now, and so the flower that's coming is that it's going to become awesome. Specifically with the Seven of Pentacles, you guys are working really hard and it seems like you're not getting any results. And I feel like it's sort of because you're not making the choice you need to make, or you're avoiding making choices at all. I'm getting this feeling that you might have to let whatever you're working on go. So I think there's two potential options here with your flower card. you're being influenced, or you are living in fantasy, you're thinking in fantasy, and so you're having trouble making a choice, and it's making you basically stagnant. You can't really move forward or work on anything the way that you would like to. And so what you have to do is change your approach and change the way you're thinking in order to get out of that way of thinking. And what it's going to do is it's either going to create results, and all of your hard work is going to become fruitful, essentially, or what it's going to do is give you the perspective to realize that you've been working really hard for the wrong thing, and you're going to be able to let it go. And that's really important. It's really important to see that something is no longer serving us and that we can release it, because releasing it is going to bring on bigger and better things. It's going to bring on something that will serve you. And at the end of the day, that's really what we're looking for, isn't it? So ultimately, either option is going to be awesome. It's going to be a really good change, and no matter what, you're not going to feel stuck in the sand anymore like you have been. So that is your reading. Nice and short. I'm terribly sorry. I'm kind of sick, but I wanted to do a little reading for you guys anyways. So I hope it resonated with you. I hope it gave you some answers, or I said something that you needed to hear. Again, it's really general. It's a small general reading. But that's why we're doing a couple of different ones, and I would really like to know what you guys thought, so please let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much, and I will see you for our next reading. Hello, Group 3. It's time for your reading. So first we have your stone here, which is the Carnelian stone, and here it says, before putting this card in your wallet or on your person, say a prayer. I carry this for love's sake. I wish to meet a mate that will bring me joy. So it was a very romantic kind of feeling for this particular card. It is relating to your root chakra. So anything that if you have a stone like this, you can carry around with you. Maybe you want to do that. Even if it's for self-love, if you're your own mate, or if it's for somebody else. And even if it's not romantically involved at all, any actions that you can do that might strengthen or reinforce your root chakra might be something you want to focus on, because this is the stone that you picked. So I will leave that here, and then we can go on with the reading. So first, for your frost card, you guys got the 10 of coins, or the 10 of pentacles, and it is reversed. It's upside down. So there's that. And then for the flame card, you guys got justice. And then for your flower card, you guys got the King of Wands. And it is reversed as well. So let's talk a little bit about what that means for you guys. Okay, so the 10 of coins or pentacles card, the fact that it's reversed is telling me that you guys probably have a little bit of stability issues. You might have some financial issues, perhaps a lack of resources. And I'm curious if you guys perhaps are living in a state of contentment. Not that you are genuinely content with your life and where things are, but perhaps it's easier for you to tell yourself that you're feeling that way so that you don't have to make active changes to your lifestyle. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes it's what you have to do to keep moving forward. But the fact that this is showing up in your reading is telling me that maybe it's something that you should reevaluate or look at. The frost card is supposed to represent what is holding you back or what is keeping you stagnant. And so perhaps the fact that you don't have a lot of stability right now, whether it's mental, spiritual, emotional, financial. I imagine it's something along the lines of financial or resources, because it is coins and pentacles. I would like to think that maybe that's something that needs to be addressed. That's why it's coming up in the reading. The flame card is to represent how you can melt away the frost, essentially. And so it's sort of like an advice card or a way of thinking or something you can do to change the current situation that you're in. So with the Justice card is complete karma. It's every action has a reaction. Everything has a consequence, good or bad. Everything that you do kind of influences what's going to happen to you. It's also a card of truth. It's also a card of honesty, essentially. Like, it's clarity. Clarity is probably a better word. And so the idea is that you should probably take an honest look. Like I said, I think some of you might be thinking or telling yourself that you are feeling content when you're actually not content. Or maybe this works for now, but in the long run, it's not going to work for you. So taking a look at that and being honest with yourself about what needs to change, what you can do to change this lack of stability, or what you can do to change this lack of resources. How can you bring some other resources in? Or are you relying too much on somebody else for those resources or for that stability? Is there something that you can do that you know you're going to have to eventually to become a little more self-sufficient? Or perhaps that the position you're in is a result from some sort of karmic revolution that you are a part of at the moment, and what you can do to kind of bring a different karma your way. It really just depends on your situation. So if you take this honest look at yourself and kind of really, I'm feeling like you need to be more honest with yourself about the situation. That's the message I'm getting, but it could be a lot of different situations because this is a general reading for a lot of people. But essentially taking that honest look at yourself or your life or your situation and seeing where these aspects of your life can improve, the aspects of stability or finances and so on. The idea is that you will be able to reap the benefits in the form of the King of Wands, which is reversed. So the fact that it's reversed, the King of Wands is specifically the King of Wands reversed. So the King of Wands reversed usually means somebody who is hasty. They are kind of sometimes annoying. They have so much energy and excitement and creativity. They can also be somebody who is a little dominating and a little mean sometimes. And I don't know particularly if you have someone like that in your life, or if maybe you find yourself in the position of being that way, sometimes a little more often than usual. I don't particularly think that in this reading, the reversal reading is meant literally. Kind of what I'm thinking is that you have these big, energetic, creative ideas, and perhaps that's why you don't have enough resources, or maybe that's why your balance right now is off. And so I think what this honest look is going to do is it's kind of going to put into perspective how little your ideas and your execution are communicating. And so I think there's going to be this exchange where you're going to be able to properly execute those ideas and harness sort of that creativity and that energy that the wands brings and that fire element brings. And I think that you're going to be able to sort of break it down and make it so that you can work on it step by step in a way that isn't reducing your resources as much as it is, or it might be now. So that resource might even be something like time instead of money. Perhaps you're putting so much money, or not money, perhaps you're putting so much time into these ideas or into these aspects or goals that you have for your life or your relationships, your spirituality, whatever it is your focus is on. And what it's doing is kind of taking that time from other aspects of your life, and so you're running on empty constantly. And so I think that this honest look or this honest approach and, you know, being honest with yourself instead of being super hasty and rushed and excited about your ideas, I think what it's going to do is it's going to make it to where these things can be done in small little sections, or it might be able to be done what you might be trying to get done over the course of a month might get done over the course of 6 months, but it's going to get done well, and you're not going to be living house poor the whole time you're trying to get it done. So I think it's going to be able to put these ideas and these thoughts into perspective so that they can be successful. So that is the message that I'm getting. That's your reading. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. Again, it's a little bit shorter of a reading this month. I'm not feeling too well, but I wanted to make sure we still did one. So I hope that it resonated with you, or you heard something you needed to hear. I hope that, you got something out of it. That's really all I could ever hope, is that you got something good from your reading. I would love to hear what you thought in the comments below, and hopefully I will see you next month for the next monthly reading. Thank you so much again. Have a good one. Okay, group 4, it is time for your reading. So first you have your stone card here, which is Celestite or Celestite, however you want to pronounce it. And this card says, many absorb small amounts of Celestite's strong energy while it purifies the soul. Take in limited doses, for you will feel refreshed after a short time. So a very effective stone, so it may seem. If you have this stone, you might want to keep it around and keep it close to you. You might want to research it a little more. And also you might want to research the chakras that it affects and do some personal work on those. So I will leave that here. And next we have your cards. So first for your Frost card, you guys got the Four of Fire. So not particularly the Four of Wands as normal tarot would go, but for this particular deck, it sort of has its own meaning. But the Four of Fire is your Frost card. For your Flame card, you guys got the Elder of Earth. The Elder of Earth. And this card is going to sort of represent how you can reduce any setbacks that you might currently be experiencing. And then the Frost card represents what might be causing you stagnation or holding you back. And then for your final card, this is the Flower card. This is what benefits you might reap this particular cycle or month. And this is the Four of Air. So a bit of an interesting reading just from first glance. A lot of positivity though, which is great. And again, I want to try and look at these cards from the perspective of we are celebrating Imbolc. And that's going to be the initial celebration of February, but it's going to carry us through the month, I think. So it's sort of the perspective that I want to look at this reading through. So for the Four of Fire in this particular deck, this is the Gaian Tarot, by the way. This deck, this card represents great personal strength. It is someone in ritual, feeling the power, running through them. She has power from the air coursing through her. She has power from the earth coursing through her. There are 4 pillars of flame around her, and she can feel that electric energy from within. And the fact that this is your Frost card is telling me that you guys are not feeling that way right now. You guys are being challenged to find your inner strength. You might feel like you're designating so much of that power to other people or for other like the cause of other people. Maybe you're working for somebody right now and you're putting their needs before your own, or perhaps you're a provider and you're putting the needs of those dependent upon you before your own personal needs. And it's not so much about your needs or your self-worth as much as it is about feeling like you might need to pull from an outside source to feel strong or powerful. And this is spiritual power. This is emotional power. This is all sorts. I mean, it's specifically inspiration. I mean, this is fire. So it's creative energy. And it might feel like you just don't have any of that energy left right now. So that is sort of the message I'm getting. The frost, that's what's holding you back right now, or that's what might make you feel a little stuck or lost or trapped at the moment. Your flame card is the Elder of Earth, so essentially the King of Pentacles. But again, this deck kind of has its own representation. And the Elder of Earth is an awesome card. So she is somebody she has become self-sufficient. You see that she has a craft that she's mastered, and she is around abundance. There's there's fruit on the trees behind her. There, it looks like animals and tools of working, tools of the trade, skillful tools too. So this particular card is telling me a life of simplicity and self-sufficiency can help you find contentment within and peace within your place of the world. So this is your advice, an advice on how to potentially find that personal power. I think self-sufficient is the key word here. I'm feeling like a lot of you are sufficient for others, but what about for yourselves? Perhaps you are somebody who needs someone else's vision to properly execute your skills or your talents. And I challenge you and encourage you to find talents that serve you as well. There's nothing wrong with being a part of a community or being a part of someone else's vision, but that doesn't mean that you have to sacrifice your own. You can always do both. So this card is telling you that you are completely capable of bringing your vision into fruition while also working within a community or working for someone else. Putting that personal power first and using your personal and inner strength first is going to improve all aspects of your life. So anything that you might be committed to now is also going to improve, but that feeling of being empty or that lack of energy is also going to go away, and that is a win-win situation. The benefits that you can reap from this is going to be the Four of Air, essentially the Four of Swords, but again, this deck is a little different. So this is your flower card, and what this essentially means, I mean, we have eggs in a nest, so that right there is sort of the sensation of rebirth, definitely, or birth, but I mean, we're alive already, so rebirth is the idea here. But this is also time for yourself in a sacred space, incubation, preparation to be reborn. It's a new path and a new stage of life for you. And also, I have a feeling that that time alone right now might be a little scary, because if you're doing anything with it, it's probably resting or trying to recuperate any energy that you have. But imagine what you could do, you know, with the time with yourself if you already had that energy. So once you start to kind of recuperate and recover and you find that inner strength that you can pull from, it's infinite. There's no ending to it. You just have to reach down and get it. And once you reach down and pull it out and you start using it, that time alone is going to be invaluable. It sort of gives me the vibes of the Hermit card, that you're going to be able to enjoy your time alone. You're going to have productive time alone. And this doesn't necessarily mean that nobody can be around you, but it's more like the idea that you are enjoying this sacred space that you exist in, and you're comfortable in it, and also that it is accessible to you, because I have a feeling it's not so accessible at the moment. So I think that that is a wonderful gift to receive. And I also get the sensation that it's going to mark a new stage in your life, because once you find this inner strength, it takes a long time and it's really hard for you to lose it. So once this aspect of your life sort of finds its completion and you reemerge, you're gonna be able to reach in and find like a sacred space for you to recuperate all the time. And this sort of is the benefit. The benefit is that you can always reach down and find this place within yourself, and that's going to be where you find that power and that strength. So once you have this tool, this is sort of the pantry you keep your strength in. If that makes any sense, I really hope it does. And so once you know what cabinet you keep your strength in, you know you can always go back to it, right? Like it's always going to be there. There's consistency. And so in a way, it's being taught to fish instead of being given food. And so you don't have to find your strength anywhere else anymore. You're going to be able to have this resource of it, or this aspect of being able to gain it constantly. So I think that is a super positive reading. It's a very, very productive reading, and I think it's going to mark the start of a really awesome story for you guys. I see a lot of skill, a lot of financial gain potentially from that skill, but also just personal fulfillment that you get from it. That idea of self-sufficiency is also a very empowering feeling. So I feel like you guys are all starting this journey of just really becoming the strongest, most efficient version of yourselves. And it's going to bring you a lot of wealth and happiness in many aspects of your life. So I think that's awesome. I really hope that you liked your reading. Again, a short reading this time. I am not feeling too well, but I wanted to make sure we got one done for you guys this month. And I really hope that it resonated with you, or you heard something you needed to hear. I would love to hear what you think about it in the comments below. And thank you again so much. I hope to see you again for our next reading.